Please like this video. It will really help this story reach as many people as possible. Thank you so much for your support. They called it restructuring and offered me water I didn't ask for. Thursday, 10 a.m., glass conference room. HR manager doing the soft voice like I was a skittish dog. She talked about market conditions and realignment. I listened, signed, shook hands. 16 weeks pay, COBRA covered, and used PTO, total package just over 200 grand. Clean cut. No drama. I walked out, hit the parking garage, and called my girlfriend. Hey, heads up, I said, sitting in my truck with the engine off. They eliminated my role. I'm fine. Silence, the loaded kind. Fine, Rachel finally said. I can't be with someone who doesn't have his life in his hands. I need stability, Mark. Not a what? I leaned back, watched a sparrow fight a stale chip on the concrete. Not an unemployed mess. I don't have time for a reset at 32. That what you heard? Reset? I'm being honest, she said. It's not the path I want. Appreciate the clarity. She hung up. No, we'll figure it out. No, are you okay? Just a tidy exit. I sat there a minute, cooler than I had any right to be, and decided I was done mistaking company for care. If I'd known where it was headed, I'd have slept better the week before. I didn't go home. I drove to my bank. I paid off the car, zeroed the credit cards, moved a chunk into a high-yield savings account, the rest into a dull, diversified mix that doesn't make headlines. 6 weeks of cushion set aside. By the time I hit my front door, the official offer email was waiting. Senior role, 40% bump, start date 6 Mondays out. I ate tacos, took a long nap, and that night scrolled apartment listings out of our neighborhood. I wasn't going to live near the ghost of a plan someone abandoned by phone. The next day, I let my landlord know I was buying out the month and moving across town. Saturday, I picked up a certified pre-owned electric sedan, 52 grand, paid in full. Quiet car, quick and mine. Clean trunk, no memories. Sunday, I slept like a man who'd stopped arguing with the weather. Monday after lunch on Barton Springs, I walked out of a coffee spot with my Americano and bumped into Rachel. She looked me over, then the car at the curb, then back at me like the math didn't add up. You got a new car? She tried for warm. Wow, big purchase. Cash, I said. I'm not into payments right now. I misread you, she said, eyes darting to the wheels again. I was emotional. We had plans. Maybe we just need. No, I didn't bother softening it. I don't date people whose support is conditional. That's harsh. It's accurate. She swallowed, then glanced at the coffee line, at the sunshine, at any exit that would let her stay graceful. There wasn't one. I crossed the street and left her on the curb with the empty word, maybe, hanging wherever she wanted to keep it. If that had been the end, this would be a paragraph. It wasn't. That week, at 11:08 p.m., she texted, I was wrong. Then, I panicked. Can we talk? Then, one coffee. 5 minutes. You ended it, I replied. Please respect that. You're punishing me. I'm protecting my time. Who talks like that, Mark? People with jobs starting in 6 weeks. No emoji, no back and forth. I muted the thread. I wasn't angry. I just knew exactly what I was dealing with. Not grief, calculation. And calculations change when the inputs change. Early Friday, my buddy Eli called. We'd played cards together for years. Different circles now, but same table. You free tonight? Poker at my place, he said. Bring the quiet spaceship. I'll swing by. Later that afternoon, I sent Rachel one more message, the last normal one she was going to get from me. No contact for a while. Please don't reach out. Short. Clear. A boundary you could see from the road. She ignored it before dinner. Where are you? Popped up at 6:27. Don't. I answered. This is me asking once. That night at Eli's, 5 of us around the table. Eli in a team cap, Gabe with the neat beard and the messy stack of chips, Troy who laughs with his whole body, and Sam, the quiet one who takes notes for fun. We were an hour in when the doorbell rang. Eli checked the peephole. He looked back. It's your ex. I set my cards down. Don't open it. He cracked the door anyway, reflex. Rachel stood there with a gift bag and a bottle of wine. Hey, she said, peeking past him. We can talk like adults. You're not invited, I told her from the table. Gabe blinked. Troy sat up. Sam put his pen down. She tried to push a laugh. Seriously? Seriously. This is my night, I said. Door stays closed. Eli stepped in front of her. We're in the middle of something. You can't just. I just did. I cut her off. Good night. Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still listening, please hit the like button on this video. It really helps YouTube show this story to more people. Thank you so much for the support. Now let's get back to the story. She reddened, fumbled the bag, and walked away. Eli shut the door, then looked at me. That going to blow back? He asked. It won't if I do it right, I said, and drew a fresh hand. The table went quiet for a beat. Then cards snapped, beer caps clinked, and the world reset. My initiative in that scene was simple. Put the rule in the doorway and make sure it held. She waited 2 days, then tried friendly again. Sunday, 10:49 p.m. I meant it when I said I panicked. I want to fix it. Monday, 7:12 a.m. Let me bring you lunch this week? Congrats on the new offer. It was the first softening. I kept my distance. I'm not available, I replied. Please stop. Wow, she fired back. You don't owe me kindness? I owe you honesty. Cold. I didn't know you were like this. I didn't either. Turns out clarity makes me efficient. She went quiet for a day, then found a new angle, convenience. The happy hour invite for my soon-to-be team landed in my inbox. Low-key spot on South Lamar, first round on the VP. I showed up, bought my own drink on purpose, and kept my comments short. Standard, so what will your first 30 days look like? Talk. Then I felt the air behind me shift. Mark. Rachel stood there like she'd stumbled into a farmer's market by mistake. You didn't tell me you'd be here. I let the surprise play out on her face while I took a sip. Why would I? She glanced at the group, recalculating on the fly. We have shared places. It's a small city. Not small enough. My future team watched, weighing the interaction like a product demo. The VP, Priya, tilted her head. She's sharp. No wasted words. Rachel tried the half-smile like we're civil maneuver. We only need 5 minutes. I put my glass down. Folks, I said to the table, this is my ex. We're not together. She's leaving. Rachel flinched, hoped I'd blink first, then realized I meant it. She turned on her heel and walked out, the room's volume returning like someone lifted a hand off a speaker. Priya raised an eyebrow. You okay? Better than okay, I said. I like clean lines. Gabe, who happens to sit 2 rows over in my old building but already knew the story, grinned at his lime wedge. The rest went back to their tortilla chips, and the conversation resynced. I wasn't there to make a stunt out of it. I was there to make sure the next boundary didn't arrive as a surprise. At 11:23 p.m., my phone started buzzing like a stubborn alarm clock. One number, then another, then no caller ID. You humiliated me, the first text read. I needed closure. You had it when you hung up. I deserve a conversation. You deserve a peaceful night. Me too. You're cruel. I'm consistent. People will see who you are. I hope so. I blocked the numbers I could and let the rest ring out. The next morning I woke up, made eggs, and moved on. 2 days later, I stepped out of my building and saw a familiar gray sedan idling across from my place. The plate matched the one from a road trip we'd taken last fall. I stood on the sidewalk long enough to make eye contact. She glanced down, pulled forward, circled the block, and parked again 1 street over. I took pictures, timestamps, plate, location. I didn't walk over. I didn't wave. I called the non-emergency line and logged it. The operator was bored but polite. Is she threatening you, sir? No. She's testing lines. I'm drawing them where they belong. Would you like an officer to respond? Not tonight. I just want it on record. Understood. We'll note it. She waited 20 minutes, then drove off. I texted exactly once after that. Stop coming to my home. Then I blocked the last number she'd used that week. Midweek, I was in my favorite lunch spot near the new office. A counter line, griddle working nonstop, the kind of place where the cook learns your order by the 3rd visit. I scanned the menu I'd memorized a decade ago and felt someone step into the space beside me. Don't ignore me, Rachel said. No greeting. I'm ordering lunch. 5 minutes. You're not hearing me. Just hear me. Please. You already picked your version, I said. I'm picking mine. I was scared, she said. So was I? I didn't lead with insults. She shifted, then tried the guilt angle. You're making me look foolish. No. You're doing a great job on your own, I said, and stepped out of line. I walked out without ordering. I wasn't hungry anymore. Across the street, a bus hissed and loaded a dozen people heading somewhere less complicated. That night, I typed up a simple document. Timeline, dates, screenshots, every call and text logged, each unwanted pop-in noted with a photo. Not because I'm dramatic, because chaos loves blank spaces and I don't leave them lying around. Rachel's next move was louder. She emailed the HR inbox at my new job, didn't wait for day one, just fired it off while I was still arranging my home office. She wrote that I was contacting her relentlessly after a breakup and making her uncomfortable. The HR lead, a calm guy named Marcos who speaks like a person, not a policy manual, called me in. Walk me through it, he said. I laid it out. The garage call, the lines I set, the messages, the happy hour scene. I slid a printed packet across the table, screenshots of incoming calls from 4 numbers, her texts, the note from the non-emergency line, photos of her car near my place, and, most useful, my message asking her to stop. I wasn't angry. I was surgical. Marcos flipped through, nodded, and closed the file. Thanks for coming prepared, he said. From what I see, there's no pattern on your end. I'll document that. If she contacts us again, security will be looped in. She won't stop with an email, I said. Then we'll be ready, he answered. You good? Very. 2 days later, Rachel materialized in the lobby with a paper bag and a smile for the front desk. I'm here to bring lunch to Mark. He just started, she told the guard, a patient woman named Lila who has a way of making you confess your middle name. Lila called upstairs. Marcos texted me, stay where you are. 5 minutes later, security walked Rachel out. She tried to talk while they held the door. She didn't get far. That afternoon, Marcos forwarded a letter they sent her. Do not return to the property. Do not contact staff about me. Clear language, no wiggle. That night, a number I didn't know lit up my screen. Mark, this is Lorraine, a woman said before I could speak. Rachel's mother. I paused. Evening, Lorraine. She made a mistake, Lorraine went on. Her tone was a mix, practiced sweetness with a small stone under it. She told me she panicked. 18 months is a long time to throw away. I agree, which is why she shouldn't have thrown it away. You're a decent man. Be the grown-up here. Give her one conversation. I have been the grown-up, I said. The grown-up closes the door when the house isn't safe. She's hurting. So am I. I'm not a resource you flip off and on. Lorraine exhaled. I hope you're proud. I'm calm, I said. That's enough for me. I'll tell her you refused. Tell her I wish her a peaceful week, I said, and ended the call. If that sounds cold, good. Warmth wasn't changing anything. Boundaries were. The next morning, I sent a note to a lawyer my friend Sam recommended. Not a big name, just a practical guy who's seen the same story in 12 zip codes. We met in a small office that smelled like old carpet cleaner and coffee. I brought my file. He read it quietly, then asked 3 questions that told me he'd do fine. When did you tell her to stop? When did she ignore it? Who saw what? We filed for a temporary protective order. He told me I might not need it if she calmed down. I told him I was done rolling dice with peace. The hearing date landed a week after my start date. I kept my head down at work, hit the gym instead of bars, and used the electric sedan to rediscover that Austin is easier when your car doesn't drink. I got recognized by 3 people in the building for my directness at happy hour. None of them meant it the way Rachel did. They said it like a compliment you could spend. The morning of the hearing, I wore a jacket that fits and a shirt you iron once and forget. The room was beige and buzzing and full of bored faces who'd seen their version of this twice that month. Rachel sat across the aisle with her mom and a lawyer who priced himself in installments. She didn't look at me. I didn't look at her. My file sat on my lap like a brick I'd built myself. The judge took a sip of water, skimmed the docket, and called our names. We stood. My lawyer spoke first. 5 minutes of here are the facts, without a single flourish. He handed up the packet. Dates, times, messages, the HR letter, the security note about the lobby incident. The judge read enough to get the pattern. Rachel's lawyer tried the word normal, like it was a magic key that opens every locked door. It's normal to reach out after a breakup, he said. Emotions were high. She wanted to talk. The judge looked over his glasses. How many times did Ms. Ellis reach out after he asked her to stop, he asked. Rachel's lawyer started to answer. Rachel cut him off. I was trying to fix it. He blocked me. I came to his work because he wouldn't meet. Thank you, the judge said, holding up a palm. Ms. Ellis, I need to know. Did you continue to contact him after he requested no contact? She hesitated. Yes. But that's enough, he said. Order is granted for 1 year. No contact, 500 feet from his residence and place of work, no indirect contact through third parties. Sheriff's office will serve. Next, the gavel didn't slam. It barely touched the wood. Still, you could feel the floor shift, control gone from one hand to the other, quiet as a page turn. In the hallway, Lorraine stared like I'd set the building on fire. Hope you're satisfied, she said. I wanted quiet, I replied. Now we have it. Rachel opened her mouth, then closed it. She and her lawyer walked away first. I waited until they were out of sight, then rolled the stiffness out of my neck and stepped into the sun. It wasn't triumph. It was relief that didn't need anyone's permission. I didn't send an announcement, didn't post a thing. I changed nothing except the assumptions people could make about my availability. That night, Eli texted, "How'd it go?" I sent back, "Done." He replied with a thumbs up and an address for the next card night. Normal is underrated. Work kicked in like a well-tuned machine. The new team was competent, the problems were clean, and my calendar started filling with meetings I actually wanted to attend. I kept my house quiet, my weekends simple. The car charged while I slept. My groceries knew their shelf. My phone didn't buzz at midnight anymore. 2 Saturdays in, I grabbed coffee at a small shop in Zilker and sat outside with a notebook, planning a Miami lane change project that would live or die on one bottleneck in Jacksonville. A woman at the next table knocked her cup over, apologized to the whole city, and laughed at herself without asking anyone to fix it. Her name was Dana. She works in landscape design, knows how to talk about shade like it's math. We compared notes on Austin traffic like we were discussing an ex we both outgrew. You're direct, she said after 20 minutes. It reads as calm, not harsh. That's rare. It's new, I admitted. Keep it, she said. It works. I didn't kiss her hand, didn't promise anything, didn't dramatize. I asked her if she wanted to check out the food trucks near the park next week. She shrugged like she'd been waiting for an easy ask. We set a time, and that was that. Monday, Marco stopped by my desk. By the way, he said, legal log the order. If anything comes up, we're ready. Appreciate it. No worries. Also, he smiled. Your Miami plan? It's good. Present it Friday. Bring a whiteboard, I told him. I like drawing straight lines. Friday came, and so did the whiteboard. Priya nodded through my outline, asked 3 hard questions, then sent me to run it. At lunch, the team dragged me out to a taco truck, and someone asked about the car. I said it's quiet and costs less to feed than I do. No one brought up Rachel. Good teams mind their own business until it intersects with yours. A week later, Eli's kitchen table was stacked with chips again. Dana swung by at the end to say hi. Eli's wife had met her at a yoga thing and decided she had to meet the logistics guy who doesn't talk like a spreadsheet. Dana fit. She didn't try to. That matters. Around 9, there was a tentative knock on the door, and every man at the table rolled his eyes like we all shared a headache. Eli checked the peephole and turned back with his hands up. It's nobody, he said. Wrong door. He didn't even say her name. We played on. The order did what it was designed to do. Not punish, not humiliate. Just quiet the noise I didn't invite and protect the life I was making. I didn't have to think about who might park across the street or show up at a lobby pretending kindness. The calendar held what I put there and nothing I didn't. I heard a few things through the grapevine. Austin isn't small, but it isn't big either. A friend of a friend ran into Rachel at a mutual's birthday. She told people I'd overreacted. Someone else said she was moving in with a coworker from her office because her lease was up and the numbers didn't pencil. She put up a post about growth and choices. Fine. Everyone needs a story that lets them sleep. Mine went like this. I got hit. I stood up. I put lines on the field and kept them where they belonged. I didn't have to raise my voice. I just had to act like my time was valuable. Turns out that's all respect is, price and scarcity. You set it, or someone sets it for you. A month after the hearing, Dana and I drove west late on a Sunday with the windows down. She pointed out projects she'd designed, shade in the right places, stone that would still look like itself in 10 years. I told her about ports and fuel costs and how a 12-hour delay in Houston ripples to Atlanta like a gossip chain. We didn't talk about respect. We just practiced it. On Monday, I sat at my desk and watched the team file in. Priya tossed me a look that meant run with it. And I did. The plan worked. Not perfectly, nothing does, but well enough to add a line to the win column without cheating any steps. I drove home in a quiet car that didn't owe me anything and parked in a spot no one else had a key for. I cooked a steak, ate it with the window open, and texted Eli to ask if he'd fixed the chip in his counter. He said he was leaving it. It's honest, he wrote. Reminds me to cut straighter. There's your moral. I got honest with myself. I cut straighter. When someone showed me they value status over steadiness, I didn't negotiate. I didn't hold a summit. I changed the rules where I could and left where I couldn't. And when the tests kept coming, I brought in structure that doesn't care about feelings, logs, letters, an order that says peace isn't a debate. The last thing I said to Rachel was in that hallway. I wanted quiet. I meant it. I didn't need her to understand. I needed it to be true. Now it is. My life's not a movie. It's an itinerary that fits. New job, clean place, a car that starts every time, friends who don't open doors for trouble twice. A woman who laughs at herself before she asks anyone to clean it up. That's more than I had when I was trying to be impressive for the sake of being impressive. And the woman who told me she didn't have time for a reset at 32? I hope she finds whatever time buys. I'm done renting my peace to anyone who thinks support expires when the numbers dip. I'm not mad at her. I'm grateful. She cut me off with one sentence in a garage, and it turns out that's exactly how you make room for a better drive. Our story has come to an end. If you've made it this far, how about subscribing to our channel? It helps us immensely. I've selected 2 other videos for you that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Feel free to click on them. I'll be waiting for you in the next story. See you soon.